Welcome to the first quarterly Aventus DAO update with our guests today. Myself, I'm head of marketing. My name is Bilal. We've got Sean, who is the founding council member. We've got Ochi, who is also a founding council member and also the DAO manager. And we have a new guest who will be talking with us about product and technology and the roadmap over in the coming months. Nahu, perhaps you can give a few words, say a few words about yourself and introduce yourself to the community.
Of course. Thanks, Bilal. Hi, everyone. My name is Nahu. I joined Aventus about 8 years ago now. I have been growing with Aventus. I've been involved in pretty much everything we've done from the beginning of the layer 2 chain to our original Ethereum based product and all the way to what we have delivered now. I think I've done a bit of like development, management, technical architect work, and now obviously in my new role as CTO and product. I'm excited and looking forward to executing the council's vision going forwards.
Fantastic. Thank you, Nahu. Definitely an OG, Aventus OG, and he's got quite some exciting updates to share with us today. You may notice that today's update is actually going to cover the first quarter of 2026. We did this so that we can add more information and more detail every 3 months and also align ourselves a little bit better with the proposal that outlined a quarterly report. So let's kick off and maybe hand over to Sean, who'll give us an update about Aventus Cloud and also a few other updates.
Thanks, Bilal. And yeah, Nahu is definitely an OG, so it's great to have him on the call. So let's give some updates. We've got quite exciting updates, I think, to share with you guys today. First of all, and most importantly, I think, is we launched the Aventus Cloud. So that's a product that the team have been working on for many months. I think it's actually the first time Aventus have launched a product like this externally, as a software that everyone's downloading and using. So it's quite a challenging thing to get right, and I think we, as a team, executed very well. So I'm super proud of everyone that was working on this. A shout out to Nahu, of course, who led a lot of the development of this product. We've got a nice video to show you later that Bilal made, which goes over a little bit of a demo of the product so you guys can see it. But that's very exciting to have that out there and live. And as it was one of the first times we've launched a product like this, it was important for us to get some feedback from our first users to see what they thought. I've done a few calls with some of the communities of our node sellers, and overwhelmingly, extremely positive feedback. So that's great news. There were really barely any bugs in the first iteration. Some more cosmetic feedback we've iterated super quickly. Already pushed, I think, 3 or 4 updates since launch 2 weeks ago. So we're moving super quickly on any feedback that we get. But it's very positive overall in terms of people using it. I think it's very easy to use and it's very nice looking, but you guys are going to see that soon. A few other updates, kind of more company-wide. The first is we are going fully AI first as a company. I'm sure all of you guys know, watching, that AI is kind of taking the world by storm. There's no escaping it now, and it's improving pretty rapidly in terms of its capabilities. And I think as a team, we got to use the best tools available to us. There's no point using a screwdriver if there's a power drill in the corner. So we're really going head on with this vision. So all of the team are super empowered to see where AI could fit into any of their workflows, question how things are happening currently. If they've got a more efficient way of working, they should raise it, and we can try to implement that. So the whole team is empowered to do that. I think the 2 implications of going fully AI first, the first one is we can iterate super quickly. So it's super fast to build things, to test things. We can fail fast as well, which is very important. Aventus is a startup. At the end of the day, we've been around for a while, but we are still a startup, and we want to operate kind of in a lean manner, moving really quickly and testing things out really quickly. And AI helps us do that in a really big way. So it's been great to see how AI has been helping us in the last month or 2, and how quickly we can move with these tools. And another sort of consequence of using AI is maybe to do with headcount, which I think we'll get into a bit later. But I would think overall very positive how fast we can move and operate together. And I think everyone in the team has kind of felt that, which has been really nice. Moving on to app chain roadmap. So this is split also into kind of two elements. So first of all, it's the software. So you guys are going to see what the node dashboard looks like shortly. The software needs to be able to handle the hosting of other nodes, other app chain nodes. We initially had the deadline of end of Q2 to be able to do that. I think we're actually quite comfortably ahead of schedule there, which is great news. Tech team have been cooking as usual. So that's good. So we'll be ready to host nodes from app chains. The other part of this is actually which app chains are we going to work with or help build and host. Our pipeline there has been going really well. Of course, as soon as we sign any contracts, I'm going to share that with you. But we had internal targets, optimistic internal targets. We like to set very optimistic targets because then you have a chance of hitting them. If you set low targets, then you're never going to exceed them. So 5 app chains per year was an internal target to try and hit, which is very aggressive because there's a lot of work that needs to go on and negotiation before something like this can happen. But it's gone extremely well. So there are 2 very, very close and another 2 in the pipeline with great conversations so far. A couple of them I'm super excited about working with those companies. And I think everyone's going to be excited once we announce that. But just waiting for contracts to go through. I don't want to promise anything until we're 100% sure that is going through. But all this is going to mean is that anyone with an Aventus Cloud node in their dashboard is going to see daily AVT rewards coming through, and then over time, more tokens from other networks coming through as well. So really building up the value proposition of the Aventus Cloud node over time. And I think we're really on track to do some great things this year, which is super exciting. So we'll keep everyone updated about that. I'm sure Bilal is going to be quick on the trigger to announce as soon as we have that over the line, the contract signed. And then node sellers. So currently we have 2 node sellers that we're working with. And we've done a pretty massive outreach campaign. Me and Bilal have been working on that together. Anyone that's done an outreach campaign before, it's kind of like a funnel. So you reach out to, hundreds of people, and then, you filter through looking from our side for partners that we really want to work with. And from their side, a product that they really want to sell. And we've kind of narrowed it down to a few great node selling partners that we're very excited to work with. Again, those announcements are going to come out as soon as we sign the contracts there. But we're hoping to add at least another 2 in the coming months, which will just increase the bandwidth, essentially the throughput of node sales coming through. Give us that sort of monthly revenue coming in, more money into the treasury, which the community can use, and we can use for the partnerships, and more money to the DAO for our operations. So very exciting things are happening. I think it's going to be a fun few months. I think it would be good to show you guys a little bit of a demo of what the node dashboard looks like, so you can get a sense of that. This is something you can actually go and download now. It's on our GitHub, but this video is going to give you a bit more information.
In this video, we're going to show you how to set up and run an Aventus Cloud node so that you can put it to work and start earning rewards. The first step in the process would be to buy a node license from an authorized node seller. You then set up a crypto wallet to hold AVT on Aventus network, and we recommend Subwallet. We've actually got a separate video on our YouTube channel that shows you how to do this. You then give your public wallet address to your node seller. They would then create a unique configuration file for you. You would then install the AVN node dashboard app onto your computer and load in your unique configuration file and start work. As an optional extra, if you wanted bonus rewards, you could stake 10,000 AVT to one of your nodes, and then you'd get a bonus virtual node to increase the amount of rewards you get. Now let's go ahead and install the app onto our computer. The application file is available on our official GitHub repository. So this is basically a website with all the downloads, and you just go down to the releases page. And I have a Mac, but we also have a version for Windows, and I need the .dmg file, which is this one. And it will then start downloading. Once it's downloaded, you simply install the app onto your computer, and the process would be very similar if you had a Windows computer. And I would now run that app, and I would type in dashboard to find it, click on it, and the very first time, click open, the very first time you run this, it will start connecting to the chain, and you just have to let this run for about 5 or 10 minutes, and I'll just come back to the video when this is done. After the synchronization is done, the very first thing you should do is just come up to the top and make sure that mainnet is selected. It should be in blue. Currently, for this demo video, testnet is selected because this is only a demo account. And you'll know if you're on mainnet so that the chain should say AVN Polkadot. Then you know you're on the right chain. Now, once you've clicked on mainnet, you just click on the top right corner, click load config file. Your node seller would have given you a .json file. So you just double click on that and load it. And now we can see that my nodes have now loaded in. And immediately I can see the node status, the health of my nodes. And currently it's on track, which means that the nodes are connected and they've started work. You may see something like unhealthy, you may see lagging, or when your heartbeats have been completed, you may see healthy. The most important thing at this stage is just keep your node on so that your heartbeats can start getting counted. Now, when we go down and explain the different areas of the dashboard, you can see how many nodes I have and how many virtual nodes, which is 0 at the moment. Virtual nodes are given to you when you stake 10,000 AVT per node. So for every 10,000 you stake, you get a bonus node to get more rewards. Now, the rewards are shown in these 4 boxes over here. For example, recently in the last 24 hours, because this is a new setup, I haven't received any rewards, but you can check, for example, when you last received rewards, which was a couple of days ago for me. The total rewards I've earned so far are 371. All of them are locked right now because this is a relatively new node. But remember, after a number of months, the node's rewards will start unlocking and it will be available in your free balance, which basically means it's in your wallet and you'll be able to move it as needed. If I wanted to stake, which means to add on some more tokens into one of the nodes, for example, if I wanted to add 10,000 to this one and get a free bonus node, I would then type in 10,000 and then I would just click here, which would open up a new window and where I would sign it with my crypto wallet, and then those nodes would then be boosted and I would get a virtual node. Now we can see over here that the next payment is going to be in 23 minutes. The overall reward pool will be different on the mainnet. It will be 14,000 at least AVT per day. And the number of periods for rewards so far is 923, which means basically this particular setup has been running for a few weeks. If I wanted to see the health of each individual node, I'll click on Advanced and then show the node table. And I'd want to see over here how many heartbeats that have been counted for each node. For example, the very top one, I can see only 1 heartbeat is being counted. Usually for all clients, you must have at least 8 heartbeats per day to be considered to get all the full rewards, and then the status for your health would change to healthy. The last step is getting help with your node, and the very first step you should do is actually click on the question mark in the top right corner. There's a very nice FAQ section, but if you had any problems with your node, you can contact your node seller, who would in turn help you or get in touch with the Aventus team.
Awesome. Thanks, Bilal, for showing that. I think we're all pretty proud of the product. And yeah, as I mentioned, the first people using it are reporting that it's super easy to use and easy to understand, and everything's going through quite smoothly. So again, well done to the entire team for getting that out on schedule and essentially bug-free. I think it's really great.
Fantastic. Thanks for that, Sean. I think it's really important that I think a lot of people have been watching our progress to see whether or not the Aventus Cloud would actually launch and what would happen in the first few days. And now it's real. Now it's live. So do you think this will have an effect, a positive effect on node sales now that we actually have a live product to show to people, and where some people, the early people, are already earning reward?
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the difficulties that I've had in trying to sell these nodes, or assist with the node sellers in selling on these calls, is essentially you're selling a product which doesn't exist yet, and trying to explain a product which is not the easiest one to explain in the first place. So there was nothing really tangible to show, which did make it quite tricky, especially if it's non-crypto native people, that are like the sort of people I'm talking to. This has changed a lot now. We can actually show what you're going to be using. They can actually download it and play with it, and people can see the rewards coming in. So it's very real now. So once you give your wallet address to your node seller, you can see the rewards coming into your wallet. You can see everything in the dashboard. You can see all your nodes individually. You can see what the heartbeats each of them are sending. You can see it's syncing with the chain. So everything is very real now, and that has helped a lot. We've seen a positive impact on that, on actually node sales going forward. And remember, all of this kind of ties in with each other. The more people that are excited to buy the nodes, the more money we get into our treasury, the more partnerships we're making with companies and making their app chains, and they're hosting their nodes. The more variety of tokens paid into the Aventus Cloud node dashboards for you, the easier it is to sell. So this is kind of the flywheel that we're trying to cultivate, and I think it's we're at essentially the first turn now, and we've got busy months ahead, but I think we're in a good position. So I'd say now is definitely a good time to get on board, especially now with the proposal that passed. The fewer nodes are live, the more rewards you're going to get. Your share is going to be bigger, right? So I think if anyone was on the fence, now you can see the product, you can play around with it, and I think buying a node now, you're going to get a bigger share of the rewards. So I think it's a very exciting time to buy, and this has been reflected in what I'm hearing back from the node sellers and their customers as well.
Thank you, Sean. And we'll dig a little bit more into the technology when we speak to Nahu in a few minutes. We want to move over to the report on business operations, and this is a very kind of anticipated section as well, because a lot of the community members are very keen to know how we're running our the DAO and how we're kind of like operating professionally. So we've got some good progress here and some more updates. So I'll hand over to Ochi.
Sorry, I'm speaking on mute. Okay, well, thank you, Bilal. We haven't done this for a while. Well, I certainly have enjoyed one of these for a while, so I hope everyone has been doing well. So from the business operations point of view, there are a few key updates that I'd like to share with the community. The main update is really the team restructuring, and Sean mentioned a little bit earlier that the factors, what are the key factors impacting that. So from our point of view, there were three main factors impacted our decision to restructure the team. So one of them being the Aventus Cloud. So we came to understand that we didn't require the full engineering team going forward. So, however, we still retained enough experts to be able to maintain our technology and manage any additional developments if required in the near future. The second factor being, I guess that goes to the AI that Sean mentioned as well. The like many forward-thinking companies right now, we are actively embracing AI to optimize our internal processes. So I appreciate that the whole AI has been a buzzword for past about a couple of years, but using AI, it's already changing how we work day to day, and it means some functions can now be handled equally efficiently, whilst making significant cost saving for the DAO itself. And finally, we all know that the overall economy and the market isn't doing so great. So just to manage the potential business risk, having a lead yet effective team within the DAO will ultimately help us protect the ecosystem during this challenging period. So moving on to the DAO setup. So I'm pleased to confirm that the fundamental operational infrastructure of the DAO is now in place. However, business operations, it never stops, because we are constantly looking at optimizing our processes and procedures. So currently we're focused on refining and strengthening our support processes for our partner node sellers and the node buyers ultimately. The idea is that we want every person within our ecosystem to have a clear, smooth, and well-supported experience from our team. And then Aventus services closure. I guess this is a fairly straightforward one. We are on track to have the 2 UK-based entities closed within the current quarter. Next slide, please. Okay, so the next slide, community treasury finance. So this is a fairly self-explanatory slide. So our community is fairly familiar with this structure and the reporting. So as you can see, since the 26th of January, we have had very few transactions happened within the community treasury wallet. So what the payments went out, and actually you are able to go on to either scan or put our wallet address there and be able to see the transactions yourselves if you like. The only difference variable in here is the True sub wallet, the daily earnings for the True tokens. Currently, Truth Network has disabled the lowering of all the tokens. So until we are able to lower them, we will be reporting them on the separate lines. But it doesn't mean, but it does also mean that we will continue to earn the daily rewards. Okay, on to the next slide, please. Okay, so this is the interesting one. We have heard quite a lot of buzz among the community about DAO treasury itself. So how we're managing our OPEX and the revenue stream. So going forward, we are going to be reporting our finances, P&L on every quarter. So the next update will be in July. And you may also notice that we see Virtuzone, our external accountant's logo on this slide, because we have engaged them to help manage our bookkeeping. So just for everybody's understanding, every transaction that goes through our bank account or wallet, or even through the exchanges, have got associated invoices, and every invoice that we process must have a again associated some kind of legal agreement in the background. So, for example, it could be service agreements, it could be the monthly subscription agreement for some of the tools that we use, or even statement of work. So all those documents are required by our accountants in order to process our bookkeeping. I'm actually quite happy to say we have very refined process that we follow already, that we were able to perfect that process over the years when I was managing the business operations within the Aventus services in the UK. And our accountants come highly recommended as well to us, and then they're based in Dubai. We work closely to make sure that there is absolutely zero tolerance for any mismanagement of our accounts or finances, and as well as we have quite strict expense policy that we have rolled out across our organization as well. So just going into the numbers, the turnover, everybody have been notified that we sold out our initial founding tranche, and then that revenue you will be able to see under January and February. And on top of that, we carried forward 2 of our clients from Aventus Services onto the DAO. So those clients, we provide monthly sort of any maintenances required for the technology our engineers delivered previously under the Aventus Services banner, or some kind of engineering or technological consultancy requires, that we will be supporting them. And then the administrative costs, you will be able to see that it's fairly balanced across the months. We don't see huge variations. However, as we discussed about the restructuring, so from May onwards, you will be able to see our OPEX reducing quite significantly down to give and take around about $90,000 per month, and then that will be featured in the next quarterly financial updates. I think that is all from my side, but then if there's any specific questions, I'm more than happy to answer.
No, thank you, Ochi. We kind of let the community ask us any questions in our forum, but that's very, very clear that this is this is a bit of a landmark for us, I guess, that this is the first time we're sharing very detailed profit and loss statements with the community as well, just to make things very transparent and open. So yeah, thank you so much for that. We will move on to the next section, and we're going to focus a little bit more about the technology and about the product. And so I'll hand over to you, Nahu.
Thanks, Balal. So our strategy before we start building on this Aventus Cloud functionality was to wrap up all the ongoing projects that we had and build on a solid base. So that's what the core Aventus Evolution involved. It's basically looking at the core tech stack, improving what we can, work that needed to happen, so we get a nice clean base that we can build new technology on. So in that regards, we've completed what we need to do. All the ongoing deliverables have been implemented. We are happy with the state of the chain itself, because ultimately the blockchain powers all the other tools that end users see. So we've done a major upgrade on the SDK, we've modernized it, and that side of things is done. So the rest of the initiatives have all been about completing and going live, which took a lot of work, but it's also excited to see things being done and people using them. So the Cloud Node functionality itself, which touches on a few components of the ecosystem, is completed. And as you have seen the great demo that Balal and Sean organized, it's it's running and it's powered by the Aventus blockchain. So the chain functionality had to be done and gone live. The node automation dashboard is the second part of it, which is also completed and has gone live. It's quite interesting to have those two components work together and make sure it runs on an average PC, worrying about memory and reliability and like network connectivity issues, all fun challenges that we enjoyed solving. Then we've also done the cross-chain voting support. This was an initiative to allow governance votes to take into account AVT that's held on the Aventus parachain as well as Ethereum. So we've done this work. It has gone live. There is a follow-up to it that we will work on, but the majority of the chain functionality is there. We've also developed a node seller portal, as Sean touched on earlier. We've given node sellers a nice portal where they can manage and automate all their node activities. And that's gone live as well. And finally, we have improved our block explorer. It's much more usable now. We've introduced a much more powerful search functionality where people can search for addresses, but more importantly, they can do granular search on events and find exactly what they need. The blockchain is open for everybody. The data is public. So having a nice, powerful search engine would make it more transparent and more user-friendly as a whole. That's pretty much it for me. If we go to the next slide, please. So these are the big ticket items that we are going to focus on next. So app chain management, we've built the infrastructure to support app chains, but there are still a few things we would like to work on the chain side. We have some legacy palettes that we are not going to be using anymore. So we'd like to deprecate those and move them out of what we call the brain of the blockchain. We would still have them in our repository so other teams can use them if they need to, but we would not be configuring them. And finally, we would be introducing a new functionality that allows people to map their Ethereum wallet with their Aventus wallet, and this will complete the cross-chain voting functionality. That's it for me.
Fantastic. Thank you, Nahu. I think what we could do maybe in the near future, as soon as maybe next week, is do a demo, make a demo for the new Explorer so that people understand how to search for transactions and transfers and their wallet and tokens, kind of like almost a beginner guide. Plus, we can demo a little bit of the new functionality that's come on board with the new Block Explorer. But that's great news for everyone, I think, especially a lot of the new people who are coming on board are not so crypto native, and they probably don't even know what a Block Explorer is. Thank you for that, Nahu. Cheers. Yeah, so the last section for today's update is about marketing. And there's really been two big focuses in the past couple of months. One is to produce a catalog of educational material for node sales, both the node sellers, but also for the new node operators who are have just started in the last 1 week to set up their nodes. And we've just come across a lot of small little things and some big things where they're not really sure how to get started. So a lot of it is very simple educational material and product information, and we'll just start publishing it on a weekly basis everywhere. And the second part is that our website has been out of date, maybe for a couple of months, and so we have a new website in the works, and it will really focus very clearly about our new positioning in terms of with regards to both the Aventus Cloud, about how nodes help to power the Aventus Cloud and how to buy it and how to manage it. And then the second part will be about the enterprise app chains, how and why this is a really good place to launch a dedicated app chain. And then also making small things, for example, making it easier to find documents or information, go through the blog and other things like that. At the moment, maybe some parts are a little bit confusing. Things are hidden. So we've made it really a lot more simple. So regarding the community as well, there's going to be more community activation. We'll probably reopen the groups up again quite soon. So we'd love to kind of have more interaction with the community there as well. Another focus has really definitely been on the node sales. So I honestly think that marketing's job is not only communication, but also for adoption of the product. So yeah, definitely been supporting Sean to find new node sellers around in different geographic areas, some who are maybe more crypto native as well, and maybe some areas where we've never considered to go, and where we can actually sell this idea of a global decentralized cloud, and here's how to take part in it. I think that's we're making some good progress here. The last is about really improving communication. So there's been a lot of podcasts and a lot of AMAs, almost one a week now. So we've already had a couple of community town halls. And even though that's actually run in collaboration with the community ambassador, we want to invite more community members to come on board. And every single episode is really about showing more about Aventus. And so we'll invite a different person who's connected in our ecosystem to share more about what work they're doing. And so, for example, we may invite people in our own ecosystem. Some of the app chain builders will come onto the town hall, and also people within the team as well. The Aventus Talks podcast, it is supposed to be a bit more offbeat and a bit more informal, where we will invite people outside of the ecosystem in crypto in general, or anything interesting that might be relevant to just helping people. So it's a bit more about technology, a bit more about blockchain in general, and a bit more about crypto. So that's a bit more of a fun and low-key podcast, but where we've had one session. I think it was actually about trading and trying to educate people about how to trade. And so we'll have some interesting sessions coming forth as well. In terms of progress on our social media, I would say that my overall analysis over the past 3 months is that we're stable, which is good and bad in terms of we're not really bleeding users, or the number of views is stable, but we're also not growing. And the reason for this is that we've actually held back a little bit with some of the promotion while we get the Aventus Cloud set up, while we get more node sellers set up, before we actually start a strong promotion. But we'll start doing it now. So a lot more material now will be more product, educational content will be coming up more, and we'll start doing boosting of content and actually reaching new audiences that maybe have never even heard of Aventus, just to expose our brand and also our product to them. And that's in effort to support the node selling process, and also to help really spread better, more good news about the Aventus Cloud, and also about the app chains which are coming on board very soon as well. So yeah, that's a really quick update about marketing. As always, I think everyone in the team would really appreciate any questions in any of the forums, even either comment on social media or inside the Telegram groups. And with that, I think we've covered quite a lot, and would see you in about 3 months for the next update. But in the meantime, of course, any questions you have, we're happy to answer, and we'll have regular monthly town hall and also monthly podcasts as well. So you'll see a lot more updates, informal updates from the team coming soon. So thank you to all the guests. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Ochu. Thank you, Nahu. Look forward to the next one.
Thank you, everyone.
Cheers. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
very
guys.
much.
Thanks,
you.
everyone.
Take care.